What's going on tonight, folks? How we doing? Rich, how are you on the other side of the picture there?
Not bad, man. Not bad. How about you?
Oh, hanging in there. Hanging in there. 8 degrees. We're good up here.
Well, it is a balmy 24 in Waco, Texas, with a wind chill of 10.
So
If that makes you feel any better.
we're almost at the same temperature.
Yeah, Dallas Fort Worth was getting freezing rain and all that kind of stuff. I'm about 100 miles south, so we got a little bit of snow. I mean, like barely enough to make a dusting, but you know, just ball cold. That's all.
I
And
felt
it's gonna
bad
be the
for all
same
the
thing tonight.
I felt bad for all these people that were stuck in the flood zones and now it's frozen. That's
Hmm.
awful. Awful.
Yeah,
Saw
it's
I
not
saw
good,
there was
man.
I saw there's parts of Detroit also frozen with floods. Obviously worried about the bottom part of West Virginia, Kentucky, North Carolina again. Ugh, it's not
Yeah, I
pretty.
mean, I saw, Falls Church, or not Falls Church, but Virginia Beach, Virginia, going to be getting like 6 inches of snow. It's just a weird, weird winter. When
Right.
you have New Orleans getting snow and that kind of stuff, I mean, you know it's crazy. My wife's best friend lives in Lafayette, Louisiana, and they got like 12 inches there. They don't get
They,
snow there,
do they
and they
even
got
got
like a
snow?
foot.
Do they even got snow plows?
No, they barely treated the roads, man.
What do people do?
They stay home. Of course, they got snow. They didn't get ice, which is drivable if you've got four-wheel drive vehicles.
No, it's not drivable. They don't know how to drive in the South with on snow.
Some of us do.
Right, right. But I mean, you have to
But the
be.
thing you
But the
yeah, but the
10
thing you
people that
gotta
know how to drive in it does not make up for the other 100 people that don't.
okay, and I'm with you on that. But the big thing you gotta remember is 95% of the time around here, we get ice. We don't get snow. For us to get straight snow is an anomaly. We get ice, and you know as well as I do. You don't drive on ice. You just keep your ass home.
Right, you're supposed to.
But same people around here that think they can stop on a dime when it's raining, and that oil comes up on the road. They think they can stop on a dime, and as they're coasting right through the intersection of the red light, they wonder why they have wrecks.
Right.
It's bananas.
Um. All right. Off of the weather. Weather sucks.
Weather is not good. Hopefully, it straightens itself out for opening day, though. We got 5 weeks. It's all right. I got plenty of time for the weather to get straight.
It'll snow. It'll snow like it does every year for opening day up here, Rich.
A big thing is opening day isn't really opening day. This is the first time in a while the Pirates have opened on the road.
They opened on the road last year.
I thought they were home last year.
No, no, I'm pretty sure they opened up in. I thought it was Chicago and then Kansas City. We opened against. I could be wrong, but I mean that's last year.
Yeah, this is going to be an entirely different and better year.
I feel we say that every year.
No, I mean, just from the pitching standpoint, they were at Miami and then at Washington and opened with Baltimore at home last year. But yeah, I mean, you have with the Pirates, you have a top three in the rotation that is arguably the best in the majors. even as good or better than what the Dodgers have.
Oh no, it looks like we were home against the Marlins, and that's funny. We play the Marlins this year for their home opener,
Yeah.
so they just switched it.
Yep.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, I would stake the top 3 of this pitching rotation against any team in baseball. Even the Dodgers, even the Astros, even the Rangers for that matter. I just don't. I've looked at everybody. I don't see another rotation whose top 3 is head and shoulders better than what the Pirates are throwing out there. Philly's got a really good front 3 with Wheeler, Sanchez, and Nola, but so that's definitely something that's a big positive for Pirate fans to be able to look at. One of the things I look at, everybody's screaming and hollering about the Dodgers and all that. I'm looking at
Can you not? How
MLB.com's
can you not?
projected.
How can
Well,
you
but I'm
not?
looking at their but I'm looking at their projected rotation, okay?
Okay.
Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Sasaki, Gonsolin. What do 3 of those 5 all have in common? Injuries.
Oh. Yeah, we haven't had.
Snell, Glasnow,
Oh.
Gonsolin. Injury prone. Big time. If they make 30 starts, I'll be the most surprised guy in Waco, Texas. It ain't gonna happen. Yamamoto, yeah, he's pretty sturdy, but he missed some starts last year, if I remember correctly. And we don't really know what to expect from Roki Sasaki. So that front 5, I don't know.
Might be injury prone, but they have a lineup that says we're going to hit with you and we're going to score runs. And that's something that, last year we watched Skeens pitch into the 6th, into the 7th. Then all of a sudden, where'd the lead go? Where did the lead go? And that happened. You could say it happened. It happened even with Keller. It happened with, and I mean, as soon as the starters got out of there, that bullpen didn't help a whole. I think it cost Skeens 6 games.
I believe that's right. But if you look at the bullpen now, and this is something I've even talked about with the Rangers too. When you look at what they've got in terms of who's going to be that middle relief. I firmly believe Holderman is your guy in the 8th inning. Then you've brought in some guys. I really like, and I'll think of his name in just a second. The guy they got from the Yankees. Hold on, I'll find it here in just a second. Mesa. Tim Mesa is going to be one of those guys that can spot start for you if he has to, but he's going to be a bullpen guy. Ledzinski, okay, but when you're going to be able to put a guy like, and I really think Oviedo is going to end up in long relief to start the year. Holderman's going to be out there. Like you said, those guys getting to the.
Wait, you just brought up Demay the guy, right?
Yeah.
A 6.33 ERA.
Mm-hmm. Pitching with a busted arm all year. Pitching with a busted arm all year last year.
Okay. '12th round pick. He's from PA. Do you know that? Allentown.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
he's a
Well,
he's a Pittsburgh
I'm just
guy
looking up his. I
or
was just looking up the
Pennsylvania guy,
name.
right? But
But
if you
Billy
look,
Joel's big song, Allentown.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, especially if you look at what he did 21, 22, 23 for Toronto, 5-2, 8-1, 3-1 out of the bullpen. He pitched between 60 and 70 innings every season. Didn't start any games. He gave up a total of 14 home runs over 3 years. 154 strikeouts compared to 39 walks. I'll take it.
Okay.
Because nothing drives me crazier than walks.
I mean, he is 33 too.
That's fine. You're only needing him for an inning, maybe to finish one inning and go for another inning. That's all you really need him for.
Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it.
You know, the big thing is, and I agree with you completely. The big thing is getting from the starter to the 8th inning. You know, if you have the ability to go Holderman, Bednar, 8-9 most of the time, then you're fine. I'm curious to see what Kyle Nicholas does this year. You know, the bullpen is definitely a question. There's no doubt about that. But I think walking into this year or walking into spring training, the bullpen looks a lot better than it did last year. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see what's going to happen with those 4 and 5 spots in the rotation.
Now, they do have a young. They do have Cal Nichols that looks to be making the roster. He is 25.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he'll make the roster. You know, if you run Oviedo as your 4, Falter as your 5, like MLB.com is projecting, I'm down with that. I'm not gonna have any problems with doing that. Actually, I'm pretty much 100% in favor of that. I mean, I know you got a couple of young guys, Bubba in particular, that you want to see in that rotation, but you know, you can start with those guys, give Bubba some more time down in AAA, and if one of the guys isn't performing, you can bring him up. You know, move one of those guys to the bullpen and bring him up. See how that
Well,
plays.
just to let you know, on the Pirates website, it doesn't even
Mhm.
have any of them two even making the 40-man roster.
Who?
Bubba or the
Oviedo and Falter? Oviedo and
no,
Falter?
no,
Oh,
Bubba or
they don't
Harrington,
have
right?
Bubba make. Yeah, they
No,
don't
they
have
don't
either
have it.
one making the 40 man.
No, no.
Okay,
Here's who they have. They have Bednar. They have Bednar. They have Mio Dzinski,
Ladzinski,
Holderman,
Ladzinski.
Nicholas, Santana, Wentz,
Uh-huh.
Ferguson, Strzelecki,
Yeah,
Boruki,
Strzelecki.
or Boruki, Ryan Boruki,
Oh, Baruki.
Brett
Yeah.
DeHace, Brett DeJuice, Brett DJ. I don't even know that one. DeGios, the I didn't hear any pronunciation. I didn't hear Greg Brown
Hey,
yet, so I have no idea.
Brett DeJuice.
The juice. So if whenever it comes in, everyone will be like the juice.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
Meza, Fulmer, and Madison. And they have Moreda, Dore Morede, on the 60-day IL already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they break camp, I think they're going to carry 13. And I mean, we know the 5 starters they're going to be carrying. You know, they're going to carry Bednar, which is 6, Holderman, which is 7.
This is the
I
40
definitely
man.
right, but I'm talking about who are they breaking camp with? Though that 26 that they're going to have in the dugout opening day. You know, you're going to have Meza in there. You're going to have Mlodzinski in there. That's 9. Nicholas would be 10. Santana would be 11. Wentz would be 12. And then it's a matter of whether they carry a 13th pitcher or not. With this ball club, I would probably try to carry 14 position players. Just simply because you don't have a whole lot of. You're going to carry 3 catchers, I think. Much as I hate to say it, I think you're going to carry Bart, Davis, and DeLay.
Well, we believe Henry's going to be playing elsewhere.
I think I think they're going to end up putting him in the outfield. But you carry 3 catchers. You're going to carry Gonzalez and Horwitz and Izzy.
Horwitz is hurt. Spencer's hurt already.
Well, but you're going to have, and even if you have to put, there was talk about Davis at first, which a catcher converting to first is a whole lot easier than a catcher converting to the outfield. Just saying. But, if you're breaking.
On first base, according to MLBPirates.com, Horwitz, Torrillo, oh my gosh.
Triolo,
and Billy Cook.
Okay. Cook is one of those guys that can play anywhere. I mean, that is one thing the Pirates do have. They've got half a dozen guys that can play a ton of positions. Izzy can play 7 positions, 8 positions. He can do everything but pitch. He came up as a catcher. Frazier can play multiple positions. Cook can play multiple positions. Triolo can play multiple positions. But I still, in my gut, because I don't see it and I don't want it. I don't want Ke'Bryan Hayes starting at third. Triolo is my guy at third. Unless somebody else just absolutely sets the world on fire, I want Triolo at first, Izzy at short, Gonzalez at second, and then we can figure it out at first. Even if you got to make.
I mean, you want Triolo at third, not first. You said first.
Yeah, I want Triolo at third. Triolo at third, Izzy at short, Gonzalez at second, and then if we need to convert Hayes into a first baseman.
He already it doesn't matter where he goes. He has a bad back. First base is not always the best place to go for a bad back.
It's better than third. First base is a whole lot better than third. But to me, I would rather just not even have him on the squad. If there was a way, I wish there would have been a way they could have packaged Hayes into the trade that brought Horwitz over. I really wish they could have been able to do that.
But why would Cleveland need a third baseman?
Not necessarily sending him to Cleveland. What about sending him to Toronto?
But Horwitz was already on Toronto. I mean Cleveland.
It was a 3-way deal, though.
I don't think it was.
I believe it was.
I thought it was just Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
I thought it was a 3-way. But work him into a trade somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I just don't see it. Outfield, I mean, everything that I'm reading, and you're going to love this one, they're going Reynolds, O'Neill, Pham, left, center, right.
I knew they were going Pham. I think I said that last time. And that brings me to Palacios and Sawinski, which Sawinski has one down left and Palacios has 0 left. So they're really going to bind for a 4th outfielder.
Oh, they got a 4th outfielder. You're forgetting about the guy that wears 22.
Okay.
If Kutch has to play the outfield 1 or 2 days a week, he can do that. I wouldn't put him out there every day, but I would, I could put him out there 1 or 2 days a week. Sure. The big thing is Palacios and or Sawinski have got to show over the next 4 weeks that they can hit the freaking baseball on a consistent basis. I saw a stat the other day. Did you know 6, count them, 6 Major League Baseball teams last year hit over 250? 6. The league individual batting average was 234.
Wait, for what? I'm sorry.
There were only 6 teams in the entire league that hit over 250.
As a team?
As a team that hit over 250. The previous year, there were 10.
Were we one of them?
It's back to becoming a pitcher's league. And I get that. But that still doesn't excuse the fact of so many guys hitting between like 190 and 220.
So wait,
Doesn't excuse it.
What were those 6 teams?
I didn't get the list. Hold on. If I remember correctly, it was the Braves, the Dodgers, the Astros, the Yankees. Hold on.
That'd be the Dodgers.
Arizona, San Diego. Oh, come on. Arizona, San Diego, Houston, Dodgers, Philly, Boston. That's it. Those are the only 6 teams that hit over 250 last year. And 4 of them are in the National League. Pittsburgh hit 234. Texas hit 238. The Yankees hit 246.
No, it was a straight up trade between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, Rich. Toronto was not involved.
But when you're looking at a league where you only have 6 teams that hit over 250. In 2023, there were 15, led by Atlanta at 274. In 2022,
so does that mean that would you say
10.
the pitch clock is causing batters to not be perfectly timed, or
to a degree? I also think the hitters' timing is bad. But I also think it's the deal of guys are more concerned about exit velocity and angle off the bat and hitting it over the fence. They're more concerned about hitting it over the fence than they are getting a base hit. And I got bad news for you. There's probably...
So wait, that stat then plays into long ball hitters. Because most of the 4 guys hit around 230 to 250. Very seldom do you see a 4 guy that hits bombs batting high.
You used to see it all the time. You
I'm
used to
talking
see
about
it all the
now.
time.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about now.
I'm talking recently. I'm talking within the last 10 years. You had number 4 hitters like a Freddie Freeman when he was hitting in the 4 hole, hitting 300 in the 4 hole.
Is there a way to look this stat up?
I'm sure, but I'd have to do a whole lot of digging. I can do that for next week's show.
All right. I was gonna say because usually you are pretty quick on that, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, that one's gonna take a whole lot of research.
All right,
I'm
we'll
gonna
do
have
our
to break it
research. We'll
down
do
and
our
all that stuff.
research. We'll do our research, and we'll save that question for next week.
But
Because I
if you look,
guarantee, I guarantee, like you just said, there's only 16 that did above. I'm going to say there's about 10 to 11 guys that did it.
but you also have to look at one other thing. The number 4 spot in the lineup has changed. Most of the guys that were hitting 4th are now hitting 2nd because they're the best hitter on the team. Juan Soto was the number 4 hitter for Washington, the number 3 or number 4 hitter for Washington when
He
he
was
was
their
there.
best player.
Ryan
Though.
Zimmerman would play 4th otherwise. Do what?
Soto was one of their best players. So of course, he's going to hit in the 4 hole.
And he hit 270, 280. You moved him to the 2 hole. Now your number 4 hitter in Washington is Josh Bell, who hits 220. The number 4 hitter is not that guy anymore. It's not Mike Trout. It's not Juan Soto. It's not Aaron Judge. Remember when Aaron Judge first came up, he was hitting cleanup. Where's he hitting now? 2nd.
Right.
Because they've gotten to the point that
they might change that this year though.
Well, that lineup he may end up going to the 3 hole, but lineups have changed, which has caused the number 4 hole hitter to not have as much value. You want your 3 best hitters to hit as many times as, which means you want them to hit in the 1st inning, 4th inning, and hopefully later than that. Okay, you want to get 4 at bats from each of your top 3 guys. It doesn't necessarily happen with your 4 hole hitter or your 5 hole hitter. So
Correct.
You're putting your 3 best hitters up there, which takes the value away from the 4 hole. Like I say, Juan Soto in the 4 hole, Josh Bell in the 4 hole, Aaron Judge in the 4 hole, DJ LeMahieu in the 4 hole.
I get it, but
difference.
I mean, I get it. Times may change, but and it breaks down, it's still the 4th batter on the team, and that's what I said the stat was.
True, but the value. But what I'm saying is, the performance from the 4 hole is completely different from what it has been. The hitters are more concerned about launch angle and about exit velocity than they are about putting the ball in play to a large degree.
That's where you get the 1 for 4 per game, and you get a 250 average. Because
but
all they want to do is
going 1 for 4.
But all they want to do is hit home runs. I would just doing a quick math because I knew I'd get it right.
Right, they're not doing 1 for 4. They're going 1 for 5. Which means, okay,
They're
1 for 5.
200.
That means I'm going to go an entire game and not get a hit. I may go, what, 4 for 20 during the course of the week. I could go 6 for 30, have 2 games with 3 hits and 5 games with nothing. It doesn't work. And you're only hitting 200 when you do that.
Right.
You're hitting 200. I mean, the Major League Baseball last year, this one I can pull up. MLB baseball last year. Batting average. Here we go. Care to take a wild guess how many Major League Baseball players that qualified hit over 300 last year?
I'm gonna say 12.
7.
My first,
Whit
I should have
Guerrero.
went with my first answer. My first answer was 7, and then I was like, well, that seems a little low.
Oh.
And then I was
Yeah.
like 12.
Okay, but think about this now. When I say these names, how many of these guys would be hitting cleanup?
Probably
Bobby
none.
Witt Jr., no. Guerrero, yes. Judge, yes. Arias, no. Otani, yes. Alvarez, yes. Ozuna, yes. You know how many of those guys actually do hit cleanup in their lineup?
Probably Reyes.
0.
0.
Zero.
You did, we just got them saying like the no names bat fourth. I was like Reyes.
None of them hit fourth. And Guerrero had 44 bombs. Hell, Witt had 45 bombs. I'm sorry, 32 bombs. Guerrero had 30. Judge had 58. Otani 4. Alvarez 35. And Ozuna 39. So when it came to the home runs, those guys were top of the home run list, but they're not hitting cleanup anymore. That's the other part. There's only 6 other guys that hit between 290 and 300. I'm sorry, 7 other guys. You had 14 guys hit over 290 in the entire league last year. That tells you something.
At the rest of the league's not very good.
They're yeah, and none of those guys.
Because you said there was only what 3-4 teams with batting average over 250.
There were 6.
6, and you just mentioned 6, and I don't think half of those guys were even on the team that you mentioned.
Arias was, Otani was, Alvarez was.
With Junior wasn't.
But you want to hear an even crazier one?
So it was 3 and 3.
Yeah, but Mookie Betts 289, Juan Soto 288, Harper 285, Freeman 282, Gunnar Henderson 281. But then we start looking at, and actually, let me go do it this way. We're talking about the power hitters and that kind of thing, right? Which is what your number 4 hitter normally is.
Right.
The number 3 hitter in home runs hit 235, Anthony Santander. Jose Ramirez, 5th, 279. Kyle Schwarber, 8th, 248. Pete Alonso, 12th, 240. Cal Raleigh, 220, tied for 12th.
I imagine Ramirez is going to bat 4th this year.
No, he hits 3rd.
Well, I don't know.
He hits 3rd. Now, of course, Josh Naylor was hitting 4th in that lineup,
right,
and Josh Naylor's not there.
That's why I think they're going to
so
drop
maybe he does. Or, crazy as it sounds, maybe you move him up in the 2-hole.
I know you
could always go in that. Noel could go in the cleanup spot.
I also know you've been watching the spring training pretty close with the thing behind you. Shane Bieber looked good on the mound the other day.
Oh yeah, he's looking like his old self.
He looks like do you think he's going to be ready? I think they've been like pulling the ball and chain on us a little bit because he looked pretty stretched out, and he looked pretty stretched out and throwing that ball.
I don't know if he's ready for opening day, but I'll bet you he's ready for May 1st. But man,
you don't think they bring him in? You don't think they let him start the Pirates series mid-April?
I just don't know how much they want to push him that early. I think they want to make. Yeah, I think 1,000% sure that he's ready. because he's a Cy Young guy.
He
When
looked
he's
ready.
good, yeah. But I mean, and when you look at it, they could have 2 Cy Young contending pitchers on that staff with Bybee and Bieber.
Receiver.
And if Tristan McKenzie is
Finds himself.
2023 Tristan McKenzie instead of 2024 Tristan McKenzie, you got a front 3 that could challenge the Pirates. I mean, if you're rolling Bybee and Bieber and McKenzie at his proper way out there, that's stout, man. That's going to make a lot of people in the Central shake. And it's going to make a lot of fantasy players very happy too, because you can get Shane Bieber cheap in auction drafts, and you can get him super late in regular drafts. Super late. But yeah, you're right. He's looking really good. And I was listening to somebody the other day. Who was it? Oh shoot. Steve Phillips, I think it was on MLB Network radio. And
don't the Pirates come down to visit you this year?
No, last year. We come to you.
June. Yeah, they're here June 20. They're here for a 3-game set too. It's not 2 games like last year.
Pirates came to Arlington in August last year.
Yeah, I thought they ran 2 games at each place.
No. Interleague is 1 series, and it alternates home and away. So next year, next year, the Pirates will come back down to.
Well, maybe I'll have enough money to be able to fly down for a game.
There you go.
Hey, I got to hear the guy you interviewed the other day, Brad Gilly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, during the rain delay.
He's good, man. He knows his stuff.
I don't know if I was more intrigued to listening or just because he was on the show.
Well, he is. I mean, he's been around the sport for
a long time,
at least 30 years that I know of.
Right,
and he's learned from the best. He's worked with guys like Barney Hall and Eli Gold and Mike Joy and Ned Jarrett and guys like that.
All right, one thing before on the 500 before we get way off track.
Yeah.
Not one lap was over 50 seconds. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty wild.
Yep. Yeah, that race, it was fun. If you get a chance, check it out in the archive. I'm sure we've got it archived somewhere on the YouTube page or on the YouTube channel, 2 Tire Change.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube page, but holy, I keep forgetting to update it. That's my fault. I completely goofed up on that page for a little bit, but it's there. I mean, it's just his last played. I just don't have a slot for it yet in the saved playlist.
Gotcha. But yeah, we do it every Monday, man, 7:00. This week is going to be crazy because you're going to have the same kind of racing, but on a mile shorter track. No, Atlanta. Another Atlanta.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Atlanta. That's right.
So you're going to have that same pack racing, but instead of a 2.5 mile track, it's on a 1.5 mile track. So Atlanta the last several years has gotten even crazier with the way they've done things out there. This should be fun, but yeah, man, it's that time of year. You got NASCAR starting up. You've got spring training kicked in. I couldn't give 3 flying craps about the NBA All-Star Game or the NHL All-Star Game. But, both of those teams are coming down the home stretch, getting ready for the playoffs.
Wait.
You've got March Madness is going to be
I
right
am
around
excited about this hockey game tomorrow night, Ridge.
Well, yeah.
I can't wait. I mean, this is head coach versus captain. And, I mean, watching Tkachuk fight his teammate, Reinhardt, that was entertaining. Like, what led into that? Like, how's practice going to be next week?
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, I was pretty impressed.
You want
Three,
to
five,
boo our
9
national anthem?
seconds.
This is
That
what's
was
going to happen. We're going to beat the shit out of you.
pretty much, yeah.
That
You
was a
know,
bunch of bullshit if I ever seen it.
teammate or not, I'm still going to take you out.
Right?
But it's
that was wild. I don't care. That was wild.
but see, that's the hockey that we're used to.
And
You
we
know,
all love it. We all love it.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the football thing to a lesser degree. You don't have that hatred for the other team like you had before. I read a quote from Bob Gibson, who, for those of you younger folks out there, Bob Gibson is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Pitched for the
Look
St.
them
Louis
up.
Cardinals, and they
Look them up,
raised the
bitches.
mound because of Bob Gibson. Let's put it that way. But he had a quote out there that said he hated playing in all-star games because he didn't like talking and being buddy buddy with the guys that he was going to try to take their heads off the next week.
Can't blame them.
I mean, that's the mentality guys had when they were, this I'm playing for this team. These are my guys. Else is the enemy. Now you got all this, oh, can I trade jerseys with you after the game? And all the shaking hands and hugs and all that. No, 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 no.
Like when Tom Brady lost, he wouldn't shake anyone's hand. He would just run off the field.
Yeah.
9 times out of
I
10,
mean,
I can't recall too many losses where he congratulated the other team.
the only thing that I can see with doing that is you shake the other team's coach's hand, and if
Get
if
out of
you're
there.
Brady, you shake the other team's quarterback's hand. You don't care if you do anything with anybody else. Nice game, nice game. Go to the locker room. To completely blow it off is disrespectful to the other team. Win, lose, or draw, it was still, the game. But you just don't have, and a lot of it has been brought on by the fact that, and you and I have talked about this before, you got guys changing teams as often as they change socks.
Right?
Even our beloved Andrew McCutchen has played on 2 other teams besides the Pirates,
and we hate them both.
Right. And it's one of those deals that you don't have guys playing. I'm really curious, and I think if because I think he gets traded, if he spends his whole career in Anaheim,
Like,
and if he spends his whole career in LA, are Kershaw and Trout the last of the one team only players that play a long term career? Are they the last of the one team only players? Just like Dirk Nowitzki with the Mavericks, played 21 years all with the Mavericks. Are those the last few guys?
Aaron Judge is going to be one of those players.
You think?
Yeah. I do. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's made a home with the Judge's corner. I just think he's made a home there and he's comfortable in New York.
Oh, but there's been a lot of other guys that were comfortable and made homes and left. See Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman got chased out.
What says Judge doesn't get chased out? Jason Dominguez turns into this superstar stud, and it's okay. We can either pay a younger Jason Dominguez or we can pay 35-year-old Aaron Judge. Guess who's walking out the door? And it ain't going to be Dominguez.
I get it, but I don't know. I just feel Aaron Judge is one of those players.
He could be.
I never felt that way about Kutch. But I don't feel that way about anyone here. I feel O'Neal Cruz is going to go the minute he gets a chance. I
Well,
just do.
I honestly,
I
and
just
Kutch
do.
got pushed out. Kutch got pushed out. Um, I honestly thought Kutch would spend his whole career in Pittsburgh. I really did. Um,
Well, we
but I
gave him a
just
chance to
wonder,
go try
man.
and win. We gave him a chance to go win a World Series.
Right. But, is Mike Trout going to get traded?
Dude,
Does Clayton Kershaw get traded?
this conversation comes up every year, and Trout never goes anywhere.
I understand, but I'm just saying those two guys both have over 10, and Kershaw's over 15, I think, with one team. And you don't see that anymore. You just don't. The only other guy that I could see outside of the three that we've mentioned that could be that way is Jose Ramirez.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't either. I think that he could very possibly spend his whole career in Cleveland as a superstar. And I'm making this superstars, because obviously the other guys are going to bounce around and all that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about superstar players staying with one team. I think it's it's a dying art.
What about Jose Altuve? I know there's a lot of
I forgot about him.
I know there's a lot of apostrophes and asterisks, but at the same time, he's been at one team his whole career.
Yeah, and I did forget about him. He's in that Kershaw Trout discussion because he's been in Houston 12 years, I think.
He's been there a long time.
Yeah, he might. He might, especially with him being willing to transition to a different position and that kind of deal. Although I'm not super confident about him playing left field. Um, you're right. Altuve could possibly be that guy. But I mean, we're talking five guys out of 800.
I guess we're talking Pete Alonso now too.
Oh, Alonso's gone after this year.
Think?
Oh yeah, Alonso's gone. He signed a 2-year deal, but it's a player option after this year. He's gone. He is gone. And man, I tell you what, how it would be really crazy to see him end up where I heard that they were talking about possibly making a big move for him is St. Louis. Continue that lineage of first baseman. Go from Pujols to Goldie to Alonso.
Well, who's St. Louis's first baseman this year?
If I remember correctly,
they signed
it's
Walker,
supposed to
didn't they?
be Donovan.
Is it the Brandon Donovan?
Hold on, I got it here.
I don't know. I haven't done
no, Contreras. They moved Contreras. They're moving Contreras from behind the plate. That's right, to keep him healthy. So they got Contreras playing first, which is an experiment. We'll see how. Like I told you earlier in the show, going from catcher to first, I've done it. I know a lot of people that have done it. Going catcher to first is the easiest transition position wise for a catcher in baseball. You can put a catcher anyplace else, and it's going to be a tougher transition. You're used to digging the ball out of the dirt on crappy throws. You're used to having to have that footwork that you need at first. It's a little different footwork, but you got to get used to that footwork. It's a lot easier transition from catcher to first than any place else, which is why when we were talking about Henry Davis, I would rather see them try Davis at first than trying him in right field.
They've tried him everywhere, though. How many more chances are you going to give this guy?
Well, you know, I think this is it. I think this year is nut cutting time for Davis. I really do. That if he doesn't do anything, you kind of try to trade him, see what you can get for him. Because this was his fourth.
This will be his third
year. So, and Baltimore's got a similar situation
with Gunnar,
with Jackson Holiday. Because Jackson Holiday come up with all that hype and everything, and he completely wet the bed.
Yeah, but Jackson Holiday, did he qualify for a rookie year last year?
Yeah. But if he goes out there again this year and completely just cans it, what's Baltimore do then?
I don't think he's going to can it.
I hope not. I mean, from what I gather, he did a whole lot in terms of really working on his stance and his swing and all that stuff over the winter. He even started trying a similar to Shohei Ohtani stance and swing, and it seemed to do well for him. It goes back to that old thing. I don't care how you do it, just do it.
Right.
I don't care if he stands up there backwards and spins around and hits the ball. It don't make me a lick of difference. Just hit the freaking ball. His defense is fine, but Baltimore has a window. Not quite sure how big that window is, because some of those guys on that team are going to be eligible to hit the door running here before too awful long. And I don't think they can pay everybody. But when you look at their lineup this year, I mean, they should be contending.
They're pitching. Their pitching's questionable.
Pitching is questionable. I mean, losing Corbin Burnes is huge. But, so is the Dodgers. Let's be honest. The Dodgers pitching is questionable too. But, the Orioles will hit just like actually. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. And I'm saying this 8:57 Central Time on February the 19th. Top to bottom, I like Baltimore's lineup better than the Dodgers. Top to bottom.
Really?
Yes. Think about this, okay? The Orioles' projected starting lineup: Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westburg, Adley Rutschman, Colton Cowser. Tyler O'Neill, who they picked up in free agency, who's a 35 home run guy. Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle, Jackson Holiday, Cedric Mullins. Top to bottom, find me a hole in that lineup. There's not one. Okay, now we look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers, as I scroll, the top three are obvious. Top four are obvious: Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez. Then you've got that gaping hole of Max Muncy in the 5 hole, who's a career 220 hitter. I love Max. He played at Baylor. Great guy. Not a good hitter. He'll hit you 25, 30 bombs, plus he's hurt all the time. Max Muncy. Will Smith, who after his spectacular April last year hit 215 the rest of the season. Michael Conforto. You never know what you're getting with Michael Conforto.
They dropped Smith down to 7th?
6th. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez is your front 4. Teoscar Hernandez. Muncy 5, Will Smith 6. Michael Conforto 7. You never know what you're going to get from Michael Conforto. Tommy.
Don't die, my buddy.
Excuse me. Tommy Edman in the 8 hole and Hai-Sung Kim in the 9. I see a whole lot of holes from 5 to 9. A whole lot of arguable holes from 5 to 9. I don't see that in Baltimore's lineup. Yeah, everybody keeps screaming and hollering about, oh, the Dodgers have got this killer lineup and all. Hey, their front four, I have no doubt about it. I'll stack that front four against anybody you want to put. But once you get past that, I mean, I'm sorry. I like the Rangers lineup better than what they've got, than what the Dodgers have.
I get it.
You know, I mean, the Rangers are throwing, you're looking at Simeon, Seager, Langford, Garcia, Jock Peterson, Josh Young, Jake Berger, Jonah Heim, Evan Carter. Again, you know, I think it's going to be more of a fun season than people think. There's too many people out there saying, "Oh, the Dodgers are going to run away with it. And they're going to win 160 games, and you know they're going to win the World Series. They're not going to lose a game in the playoffs." No. I just see way too many holes in this Dodgers team. I would really have to look at it, you know, under a microscope and all that. I'm not positive they're the best team in the National League. I'm really not.
Okay.
I think Philly is really good. I think the Braves are really good, especially if Acuna is healthy. You know, it's gonna be and of course, you know, can Sale repeat what he did last year?
That was a mystery to me.
Yeah.
He is. He just is. Like he goes to Boston, he plays injured for 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's Cy Young contention.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think that part of the huge problem was that exact thing that the White Sox kept trying to bring him back too fast, and then the Red Sox ended up doing the exact same thing, and they just brought him back too fast, and we all know what happens, especially with a pitcher, if you bring him back too fast.
Are we getting told to
It
wrap
makes
it up?
it worse instead of better.
Is the producer telling us to wrap it up?
No, but we do need to here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's why I keep it. That's why I was asking.
No, I was checking something real quick, and
Oh,
so
yes, I called the wife the producer.
yeah, no, that's okay. We do the same thing. We whenever I was with ESPN Radio Central Texas when I first started, our afternoon show was a couple of guys named Tom and Butch. And Butch's wife would always get credited as the wardrobe coordinator at the end of the show.
Nice.
And she would be, you know, when we would see her at events, hey, the wardrobe coordinator's here, you know, that kind of stuff. And it became a running gag, but it kind of wasn't the gag, you know. So, but no.
So you're saying, Rich, I'm going to add a different jersey to the one behind me at the end of the year
for the World Series champion.
I always do the MVP. I've been doing the MVP lately, but I don't want that prediction.
Oh, World Series MVP.
Yeah, that's the jerseys I've been getting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I do.
Obviously,
I don't know. I don't know that the Dodgers.
I started.
I don't know if the Dodgers make it to the World Series. They could. I mean, it's going to come down. It's just going to come down to what they do outside of their big guns in the batting order, and can their pitching stay healthy. If those two things happen, they're going to be tough to beat. But there's a track record with that pitching staff. And I just don't like the bottom half of the lineup. I think the bottom half of the lineup hits a combined about 230, and that's not going to get anywhere. You're going to see the Dodgers as buyers at the trade deadline. So yes, I would say you're going to get somebody besides Freddie Freeman. Yes, a different team jersey than Freddie
Different
Freeman.
team. Okay.
You might have to buy another Rangers jersey. You never know.
I'm getting the City Connect.
Yeah, you might have to get a new Rangers jersey.
Oh no, another Corey Seager jersey. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, if the Rangers pitching can stay healthy,
Who knows?
they're
Maybe
going
it'll
to be
be.
tough to
Maybe
beat.
it'll be. Maybe it'll be. Maybe it'll be. Evaldi.
Well, Evaldi, DeGrom.
I would buy your daughter a jersey, just a World Series jersey, if he gets named MVP.
There you go. Okay, she'll be all about that. But I mean, they're talking DeGrom, Evaldi, Gray, Bradford, and Maile as that starting rotation.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
I'll tell you what, if they're healthy, it's strong. And you got to remember who you got sitting in the catbird seat to jump in. Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, Dane Dunning. You've got guys that if any of the Tyler Maile's the one that I'm not super sure about. The other ones are going to be fine. But I mean, if you could end up with that rotation doing what it can do, and the batting order, you notice I didn't say Leody Taveras. You got Taveras coming off the bench. Because Evan Carter's back healthy, so he's out in center field. Rangers are, I think they're the best team in the West.
I don't think the Astros are going to be in that conversation.
No, their pitching is that's what's going to kill them.
That's a rebuild.
I think
that is a slow rebuild right now.
Yeah, I mean when you're talking now, granted they did add Christian Walker at first, which is fine. They're gonna hit, but when you're rolling Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Ronel Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, and Hayden Wiesinski, outside of Valdez, man, that's a lot of question marks in that starting rotation. I think Seattle's their biggest.
I brought Marcus back, and he's our Houston guy. He also does Saints and Tigers. We're working on the details still. But anyway, I just want to let you know we now have a Houston guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ran with us last night.
Gotcha.
That was cool.
By the way, pulling back the curtain just a hair, the question you asked me yesterday, no, did not reach out to me. Is that clicking with what? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I just texted him.
Oh, okay. So, but yeah, man, it's going to be a fun season. I really do. All these people that think the Dodgers are running away with everything, I think they're a little disillusioned. I really do.
I'm ready. Paul Skeens
I'm ready
dominant.
too, man.
It's dominant already in early action against his teammates. But
I don't care. I don't care that we're going to see a bunch of minor leaguers tomorrow. Dodgers, Cubs, tomorrow afternoon on the Television. And I can guarantee you I'll be working and watching the game. You can write it down. So, Rangers are on the air Saturday. It's going to be, my time of year.
What time's the game?
The Cubs Dodgers game, I think, is 205. Might
Don't
be
they
305
share?
your time.
Don't they share out in Glendale?
Who? Rangers share with Kansas City.
I thought the Dodgers and Cubs shared too.
I believe you're right. No.
I thought they did. Or they're really
No.
close.
Yeah. If I remember right, the Dodgers just have their own. Let's see. Glendale is Milwaukee. Surprise is the Rangers and the Royals. Tempe is the Angels. Mesa is the A's. The Reds and the Guardians are in Goodyear.
They
The
don't share,
Dodgers
maybe.
share with the White Sox.
Okay,
The
I had the
Dodgers
wrong.
share with the White Sox.
I had the
Yeah.
wrong Chicago. My bad.
Yeah, the wrong Chicago team. They're in Glendale. And like I say, Milwaukee has a separate facility in Glendale.
I don't care. It's hot in Phoenix. It might not be now though. Who knows with this goofy weather patterns we have going on?
Yeah, I would imagine it's not too hot out there yet, but it's going to be getting there shortly.
Oh yeah. All right, Rich. How people get a hold of you? Because you said we got to go. You gave me an extra. You gave our show an extra 7 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, it's just the busy time
It's all
around
good.
the household here. But
All good.
Mondays 7 Eastern, 6 Central. It's Two Tire Change right here on the network. It's a NASCAR show, recap last week's race, talk about the upcoming race, do a little fantasy NASCAR, and you never know who's going to pop onto the show. We've had a couple of really cool guests so far in the four shows I believe we've done, and we've got some more in the works. So we'll be putting that out Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And then you can get me on Twitter at Go Big Go Home Pod, or at Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. Feel free to, let me know what you think about that show, this show, wherever I'm at. If you got questions, please feel free to ask. I love to get the conversation going. And it's about it, man. Tuesday nights, I try to slide in. I haven't been in there last couple of weeks, but
it's all good. You can get me at Sports Talking It, even though for some reason it doesn't look like I've been very active on that Twitter handle lately. I've been at work and just busy as shit and trying to keep up, doing my thing. At Driving to the Top, you can find me there. At Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. Look for the puppy. That's our logo. And she won't jump up, of course, because I want her to. But she is right there. Yeah. Thank you, Rich, for coming on. It's our show. I don't have to say thank you for coming on. It's our show.
No, you're good, man. It's all good. As always, it was fun.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you and have a good evening.